Good morning, wonderful children. This is Mr. Allen here. I am in school, and I am graced by the presence of two other children that are working on some math stuff. You guys want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. All right, they're excited to be here. They let me record this video while they work on some things. So, without further ado, let's do a few of these problems that you guys requested while in class. Let's go. Area of the shaded region. You guys seem to love these. They're fantastic. They're wonderful. All right, I got 12 feet for these. This rectangle here that's got two circles inscribed in it, and I'm trying to find that red shaded region. Well, if that's 12, that would also make, perhaps I won't use green, I'm going to use blue. There we go. That would make this diameter 12 feet, or my radius then only 6. So my radius is 6 feet. Lovely. Now, this dimension of said rectangle, well, there's two circles, so there's two diameters to get across. That makes that 24 feet. Those numbers are a little close together. I'm going to move this whoosh, down here. Cool. Awesome. So I got a radius for my circles. I've got the other dimension for the rectangle. Let's get to work. I got the area of a rectangle is equal to base times height, or height times base. It really doesn't matter the order because it's multiplication. 12 times 24. I think that's 288. Cool. Awesome. All right, I just double checked it. It is 288. I'm excited. Mental math for the win. Area of the circle. An area of one circle is pi times my radius of 6 squared. So that's 36 pi. Now, how many circles do we have here? We have 2. So I'm going to have the area of my rectangle, 288, minus 2 of my circles. So 288 minus 72 pi. We'll call that feet squared because it's area. We will not count off on units for this one, but that's how you would see it written. If you wanted to get the decimal form, the decimal equivalent, 288 minus 72 pi in your calculator would give you about 61.805, so 81 feet squared. That'd be your decimal approximation. That is not exact, but as for exact, in terms of pi, we are looking at the boxed answer there. If it said round to the nearest hundredth place, it'd be the one that I have below. All right, let's keep moving. Here it says triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle with BA congruent to CA. All right, the measure of angle A is 50 degrees. Lovely. Find the measure of angle DCF. So this angle right here. All right, well, it's an isosceles triangle, and I know that all angles will add to 180. And I know that these two angles down here are going to have to be congruent because it's an isosceles triangle and my two legs are the congruent ones, so then the two base angles are the congruent as well. Well, if I took 180 minus 50, that leaves me with 130, and divide that by 2 because I want them to be congruent, right? Divide that by 2 and I get 65 degrees for each one of these two angles. And if that's 65, the angle that is vertical to that, the vertical angles are going to be congruent, so 65 degrees is my answer. Had I asked for, say, this one right here, I could do 180 minus 65 because they are supplementary to each other and get 115. But this one asked for the angle that was vertical. I can go ahead and mark it with the same congruent marks now, too, because they all are congruent. Woo! That was awesome. Bella, was that awesome?
Sure.
Sure. I think it was awesome. Super awesome. All righty. Woo! What are the restrictions on X? All right, so we've got CB is larger than AB. I like to mark that with 2 tick marks and 1 tick mark, even though that's unofficial. I live life on the edge. Sometimes I don't follow the rules. All right, CB is larger, so that means that angle A, the angle that's across from it, is also going to be larger than the angle across from the smaller side. Whew, all right. So I've got 2x plus 4 is greater than 3x minus 2. All right, so if I were to say, I'm going to subtract 2x to make sure that x remains. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it probably how you guys might do it. 3x minus 3x, I get negative x. I'm also going to subtract 4 to the other side. I get negative x is greater than negative 6. So if I divide by negative 1, it's going to be x is less than positive 6. Remember, if we divide by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign. So I have x is less than 6. Cool. That is one of my restrictions. Now, whether we're dealing with angles or sides, if I get x is less than a number, I have to worry about it going negative or being 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smallest angle, make sure that that is a positive number, make sure that's greater than 0 to get my other lower bound. So let's do that. Which one's my smaller angle? Well, angle C is my smaller. And as long as angle C, which is my smallest angle, is greater than 0, the one that's larger than it would also have to be greater than 0. No way around it. If it's bigger than it, it's going to be positive. So I get x is greater than 2/3. My final is 2/3. It's less than x, which is less than 6. I would write it as a compound inequality. I need both of those to receive full credit. America, freedom, rock and roll. And what else? Really? You guys don't know the end of that? Costco!
No, you didn't. You have to repeat it. I didn't hear you. I'm trying to do my math.
That's right. You are focusing on math. I'm focusing on math too. My own math, your own math. We're moving on. Yo-ro. All right. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. And then I've got some information about all these segments. That's scary. That's a lot to organize here. And I want to find BC. I'm going to draw a picture, okay? I'm freaking out. I'm going to draw a picture. Okay. So these two triangles are congruent. I drew them in the same orientation. AC is x squared plus 2. DE is 2x plus 1. EF is 3x plus 2, and DF is 3x plus 6. Well, can I set up any kind of an equation? If I knew the perimeter of DEF, like we had on a previous quiz, then I could add them all up and set them equal to that. I don't have a perimeter, but I do know that these two are going to be congruent because they are corresponding sides in my triangle congruency statement. AC is on the outside, DF is on the outside. Those two are congruent. Let's set them equal. I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller. We'll do that. Okay. So I have x squared plus 2 is equal to 3x plus 6. Set this equal to 0. I get x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. And then I'm going to have to factor. So I have x and x here. What multiplies to negative 4 and adds to negative 3 would be negative 4 and positive 1. So I'm going to get x is equal to 4 and x is equal to negative 1. Now, when we're faced with two answers, we like to check and make sure they are both working or only one of them's working. Really, you're supposed to check in any event, even if you only have one solution. Check to make sure it works in the original problem. Let's see here. If I plug 4 in, I get all positive values no matter where I go. So that's good. If I plug negative 1 in, however, negative 1 down here, I'm going to get negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Over here, I'm going to get negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So this one, that's no good. That's no good right there. So we're only working with the x equals 4. But let's make sure we answer the question. What is BC? I don't even have information for BC. It's this side right down here. But according to my congruent triangles here, this side is congruent to this side. So 3 times 4 plus 2, which gives me 12 plus 2 is 14. That is my final answer here. I used its corresponding side, which is also congruent, to find my length because it should be the same as FE. We're good to go. Moving on to a proof. How we doing? Do we have any questions in here?
No.
They're cruising. They're cruising. They're allowing you guys to get some awesome extra practice before your big test tomorrow or whenever you might be watching this. Who knows? Maybe people in the future will watch this next year before their test. The future. Okay. I know I'm ridiculous. All right. I have D as the midpoint. That gives me two congruent segments, right? Of AB. And then I have angle A is congruent to angle B. Okay, I got two sides, two angles. That's awesome. It's a good start. I need only one more piece of information right now to get my two triangles congruent. Now, some of you may be like, oh, reflexive property. But that is angle, side, side, because the angle is not between the two sides. And we cannot prove two triangles congruent by angle, side, side. Is there anything else we could possibly do? Ooh, how about if angles, then wouldn't these sides be congruent? Say, what? Yes. Now we have side, angle, side. We can prove these two triangles congruent. Let's write this bad boy up. Alrighty. So first we said that AD was congruent to BD by definition of midpoint. And I do apologize that Riverdog Jenny is not a part of this one here today. She is not at school with me, and this is the only time I'd be able to get it done, so that's what I'm doing here, okay? But she said, what's up? AC is congruent to BC, and that would give me, or that was because if the base angles were congruent, then my sides were congruent. And lastly, I've got my triangles congruent. Triangle ADC is congruent to triangle BDC. And that was by side, angle, side, SAS. Love it. Love me some congruent triangles. We got one more for you. We got one more problema for you. Classify by sides and angles. And also, if AM is a median, find the coordinates of M with this very wonderful, sloppy handwriting. All right, so in order to find my classify by sides and by angles, I need to find all of my side lengths. Let's start with that. Let's see. AB, I can just count that out. That would be from, let's see, it's 3 above and it's 7 below, so that's 10 right there if I count that. BC. Well, I'll write my coordinates because that's a little easier to read. -6, -7. C is -1, -2. All right, so BC would be -1 minus -6. Ooh, lots of negatives. That's fun. And then -2 minus -7 squared. So I have, that's 5 squared is 25. And then this is also 5 squared is 25. So 25 plus 25, that's a square root of 50. And although I could simplify this, I am not going to because that's a waste of my time. I'm not asked for the length. I'm asked to classify things. And then AC, we'll do the same thing here. Throw these ordered pairs up here. -6, 3. All right, so I've got -6 minus -1 squared, and I have 3 minus -2 squared. And that's going to be equal to, let's see here. That becomes -5 squared is 25. Oh my goodness, that's the same as before. That's crazy. That's cray-cray. And then I thought I'd startle them. They didn't even jump. They're ready for me. And I got 25 again. So I get the square root of 50. Well, hot diggity dang. 2 congruent sides. This is an isosceles. Isosceles. Don't forget that sneaky C right there. If you spell it wrong, you fail the test. I'm kidding. But I'm always excited to see your different spellings of words. It's a lot of fun. All right, so it's isosceles. And how about by angles now? So this is part of it, but I do need to classify it by angles. I've got my 3 sides. Which one's the longest side? Well, the square root of 100 is 10. So 10 is going to be longer than the square root of 50. The square root of 50 is pretty close to the square root of 49, which is 7. So again, my largest side is 10. The other 2 are legs. So I'm going to go over here for it. 10 squared, I don't know. And then the square root of 50 squared, square root of 50 squared. I get 100. And then I've got 50 plus 50. Holy guacamole. These are equal. That means it's a right. Isosceles is classifying by sides. Right is by angles. Cool? That's dope. But there was one more thing. If AM is a median, find the coordinates of M. Let's zoom in a little bit over here. That would mean that I'm going to have something. I'm going to go a different color while I do this. Let's go with a lovely little, let's go kind of a purple color here. It's going to be somewhere over here. I don't know where exactly, but that would be M. It's my job to find out. If that is my coordinate M and it's a median, that means it's drawn to the midpoint of the opposite side. Midpoint. Okay, and that's an exclamation point. That makes it more exciting. So my midpoint will be of BC. So I have to do my x's added together, -6 plus -1 divided by 2, and my y's, -7 plus -2 divided by 2. So I have -6 and -1 gives me -7 over 2. That doesn't simplify. And then I have -9 over 2, and that does not simplify. So those are my coordinates of the midpoint M. So yeah, that's it. I thought that was going to be more exciting ending right there, but that was pretty much it. Actually, hold on. There we go. There's River Dog Jenny. Just got the new phone. Had to flex the portrait mode. It's a little different than the other one, but it came out real nice. Perfect timing. No live photo there, not in portrait mode. So that was the perfect timing. You're welcome. You're welcome. And of course, if you actually want to see the work of that problem still, I'll pop that back up. There it is. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to Jenny. Right there. So cute. River Dog Jenny. River Dog Jenny. Don't forget the @ as that is Instagram. Pop a follow. Should I start doing the thing like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? Right now, Philippines are edging out the US for my top viewers. So, I mean, it's a competition now. Let's see if we get some more subscribers. All right. America Freedom, Rock and Roll, Costco. Yo-Ro. River Dog Jenny on the gram right there. Wait, hold on. I got an idea. And Gucci, Gucci, Goo. There we go. All right. See you later.